Welcome back. Since marijuana use became legal here in Colorado, there is an ongoing effort to educate people about not only what is legal, but what is safe. The Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment's Responsibility Grows Here education effort has been at the forefront of that effort. And Dr. Larry Wolk is the Executive Director and Chief Medical Officer of the department and joins us now. So thank you so much for being here. So given that Colorado is the first state to legalize here, this must be a huge challenge for you and your office.
It is a challenge. We have to park our biases, as I say, because the people voted for legalization. And so if we're trying to educate the people who are most likely to use marijuana, we have to do so in an unbiased way. And so we have to be very objective in how we approach people who are likely to use marijuana legally with regard to educating them.
So who is most likely to use marijuana?
Well, it's a good question. I think it doesn't necessarily follow a particular age type or race type or socioeconomic status. It's kind of across the board. But we just have to make sure that we're not doing anything to alienate people. I think initially there were some critics and probably continue to be critics that were a little too friendly in our approach. Because maybe in some way we're trying to encourage people to use, when in fact all we're doing is saying, look, if you're going to use marijuana, we want to make sure that you're aware of the issues around health and around safety and things like that.
So before this interview, you were telling me that statistics have not grown given the legalization of marijuana. So go through that list for me again. You said...
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pediatrician, I'm a parent, I'm a public health guy, and so I came in with my own biases thinking, oh gosh, we're going to see increased use amongst adults or kids. We haven't seen an increased use amongst adults or kids. We haven't seen an increase overall in DUIs across the state. We've actually continued to see a decrease in dropouts related to marijuana or any drug amongst school-age kids, a decrease in suspensions or any kind of school-related actions. We did see a little bit of an increase in hospitalizations and emergency room visits related to marijuana, but a lot of that was being driven by out-of-staters, people who weren't exposed to the public education efforts that everybody who lives here gets exposed to almost on a daily basis.
So, and that's part of the reason why you're here, that public education piece. So what is this new effort that you're putting out there to try and educate people? Tell us about it.
So the new effort, Responsibility Grows Here, is to say, look, if you're going to use marijuana, we want to make sure that you're taking responsibility. You're making sure that it's locked away from children, that you understand the difference between the products. If you're going to use an edible, for example, it takes much longer for the effects and potential impairment to occur from an edible than from something that may be smoked. And so we want people to be aware of that so that they don't suffer any untoward effects from a health standpoint or a safety standpoint.
So I've seen the commercial with the woman talking about where's a safe place, and it's up above. But
yeah.
And so this is to target parents?
Well, it's to target parents because, again, just like if you would have anything considered potentially harmful to kids in the house, marijuana being one of them, we want people to think about that and make sure that it's not just out of reach, but it's locked away. We also use as a spokesperson this mythical bud tender because this is somebody again who would legally use marijuana would obtain their product from at a store, which is through a bud tender. So we have Meg the bud tender as our spokesperson so that again we can hopefully get some uptake by people when they hear from Meg that they should store things away and lock them away, that there's some credibility to that.
And the other focus of this this program is pregnant women. Because you want to get the message out there that marijuana is not safe for pregnant women?
It's not safe for pregnant or breastfeeding women. There's no safe amount. There's some myth or folklore out there that maybe marijuana will help reduce my anxiety or help me with nausea while I'm pregnant, and the risks really do far outweigh any potential gain. So we want to make sure that we have a special message focused on women who are pregnant or breastfeeding so that they know there is no safe amount of THC or marijuana they can consume.
Because there was a study, or there was a survey done recently where some people were being told to the contrary, right?
Yeah, and that's an issue that we had, again, with the bud tenders to show how influential they could be. And really, the bud tenders know not to talk about health and health impacts. And so that study gave us an opportunity to work with the Department of Revenue, who oversees the stores, just to remind the store owners and the bud tenders that this is not something that they should take lightly. This is not something that they should talk to consumers about. And
with 30 seconds left, is there really enough research done to be able to come to these conclusions about what is safe and what isn't, how much is safe and so forth?
There's more and more research that's being done, so that's the good news. This has stimulated quite a bit of research. We just released another proposal for $3 million more worth of research, and so you know, you just have to really do your homework with regard to, and come to our website, because we do that homework for people. That's our job, to educate the public. Come to our website, and we have a whole compendium of what the research shows versus where it might be mixed or where there really isn't any research.
Dr. Wolk, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Very nice to have you here. We appreciate it. By the way, if you have a question or a segment idea, tweet us at Denver 7 Politics. And don't forget, you can watch today's segments anytime at thedenverchannel.com/Politics Unplugged. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you back here next Sunday for another edition of Politics Unplugged.